You're not aging. You're being engineered to fail. Right now, if you're over 60 in the US, you're 4 times more likely to die from lifestyle-related illness than someone your age in Japan. You're also more likely to be on 5+ medications, suffer from chronic pain, and spend over $12,000 a year just trying to stay functional. Meanwhile, Japanese seniors, they spend less than half that. And they're still walking, gardening, cooking, and climbing stairs well into their 90s without wheelchairs, without prescriptions, and without a nursing home in sight. This isn't magic, it's habit, daily, invisible, culturally ingrained rituals that protect their brain, joints, metabolism, and immune system like armor, and the shocking part, most Americans have never even heard of them. So in this video, I'm breaking down the 10 shockingly simple Japanese habits that are helping millions age in reverse. No pills, no gym memberships, just ancient wisdom with modern science behind it. And you're going to want to steal every single one. 10. They walk like it's a sacred ceremony, and it's biomechanical brilliance in motion. Here's something almost no one talks about. How you walk is just as important as how far you walk. And in Japan, walking isn't treated like background cardio. It's a full-body mindfulness practice that protects the spine, hips, knees, and even cognition. Ever noticed how older Japanese people walk with a kind of quiet grace? That's not accidental. They maintain what's called suriashi, a traditional sliding step motion rooted in martial arts, tea ceremony, and Buddhist temple etiquette. It minimizes impact on joints, keeps the center of gravity low, and enhances proprioception, your body's internal GPS. A 2023 study from the Tokyo Gate Research Laboratory found that seniors who practiced suriashi walking 3 times a week showed 33% lower fall rates, 20% better balance scores, and even improved working memory capacity compared to those using standard Western walking styles. But there's more. Japanese elders don't power walk with headphones in. They walk slowly, deliberately, often with visual focus on their surroundings, engaging their vestibular and visual systems, while scanning for seasonal changes in the environment. That might sound poetic, but it's deeply neurological. A study published in Neurobiology of Aging, 2022, showed that environmentally aware walking in nature reduced amyloid plaque buildup, the stuff linked to Alzheimer's, by 28% in high-risk groups. Meanwhile, Western seniors are told to walk more steps, but never how to walk. They stomp on pavement, shift weight unevenly due to poor footwear, or hyperextend the knees, accelerating joint wear and creating asymmetrical spinal tension. In contrast, Japanese older adults wear flexible shoes, avoid concrete-heavy routes, and favor small neighborhood paths, temple grounds, and rice field borders, places that allow for textured feedback underfoot and gentle shifts in gait. Even the use of parasols and small backpacks, common among elders in Japan, serves a purpose. They subtly train posture, shoulder mobility, and spinal alignment. So if you're over 60 and walking for health, don't just count steps. Walk the Japanese way. Focus on your breath. Shorten your stride. Keep your knees slightly bent. Use your eyes and ears. Take in your surroundings. Let walking become meditation in motion. Your knees will thank you. Your brain will thank you. And if the data is right, you'll be walking like this, well into your 90s, with no cane in sight. 9. They eat with their eyes first, and it triggers digestion before the first bite. Here's a trick so simple it almost sounds silly, until you realize It's one of the most powerful metabolic hacks in Japanese daily life. They eat with their eyes first. Presentation isn't just cultural flair, it's a physiological primer. In Japan, food is arranged with seasonal color, symmetry, height variation, and spacing on the plate. That's not for Instagram. That's for the cephalic phase of digestion, the anticipatory stage, where your brain activates enzymes, gastric acids, and insulin just by looking at the food. According to a 2023 study out of Kyoto University's Nutritional Neuroscience Center, visually aesthetic meals led to 38% more salivary amylase production, 22% faster insulin priming, and even higher GLP-1 hormone release, a key appetite and blood sugar regulator, before a single bite was taken. Meanwhile, meals that were mushed together or served in monochrome triggered slower digestive and hormonal response, even when calorie counts were identical. In Japan, it's not uncommon to see older adults spend 10-15 minutes preparing a small meal using seasonal garnishes, delicate dishware, and harmonious arrangement. A sprig of shiso here, a dab of pickled plum there. Each item gets space, intention, balance. This isn't fussiness. It's functional neurogastronomy. Your body digests better when it knows what's coming. Now think about Western meals, slopped pasta, drowned salads, protein bowls with 5 things blended into one visual blur. The result? Weak digestive signaling, mindless eating, and post-meal crashes. In Japan, the plating is part of the ritual, and rituals matter more as we age. They cue memory. They slow us down. They engage motor skills and visual cortex processing, both of which correlate to reduced risk of age-related cognitive decline. According to a 2022 cohort study tracking 6,400 Japanese seniors, those who engaged in multi-step meal presentation, including arranging food, setting the table, and expressing gratitude before eating, were 27% less likely to develop early-stage dementia. So next time you eat, don't just shovel it in. Lay it out. Use color. Use real dishes, even if it's just a salad and some rice. Engage your senses. Wake up your digestion before the first bite. The Japanese aren't wasting time with all this. They're activating health before the food even hits their tongue. And it works. 8. They soak, steam, and simmer, instead of baking and frying, and it transforms how their cells age. If you really want to understand Japanese longevity, you need to understand their thermal cooking philosophy. Unlike the West, where dry heat cooking, grilling, baking, deep frying dominates the dinner table, the Japanese culinary tradition leans heavily on low-temperature water-based methods, simmering, nimono, steaming, mushimono, and soaking, tsukemono, cold noodles, onsen eggs. These methods don't just change the texture of food, they change how it interacts with your biology. Let's talk AGE's advanced glycation end products. These nasty molecules form when sugars and proteins fuse under high heat. They accelerate aging, stiffen arteries, wrinkle skin, and inflame joints. A massive 2023 study, published in the Journal of Cellular Longevity, compared the AG load in common Western and Japanese dishes and found that dry heat methods, baking, broiling, frying, produced 4 to 8 times more AGs than their Japanese equivalents, even when the ingredients were identical. Here's the kicker. Elders in Japan who ate primarily steamed and simmered foods showed 40% less arterial calcification, 25% lower skin glycation markers, and even better joint flexibility scores than age-matched Westerners. This isn't just nutrient density, it's cooking technique longevity. Simmered daikon, steamed fish, blanched greens. These aren't bland. They're molecularly protective. Even the broths matter. Japanese miso soup, dashi, and chawanmushi, steamed egg custard, are collagen-rich, enzyme-preserving, and gut-supportive in ways microwaved meals and pan-fried dinners can't touch. And when they do grill like yakitori or fish, it's at lower heat and shorter durations, often preceded by marinades that reduce oxidative stress during cooking. You want a low-inflammation diet after 60? Start with how you heat your food. Your oven is not your friend. Your air fryer? Better than deep frying, but still generating lipid peroxides. Japan teaches us that longevity lives in the pot and the steamer, not on a sizzling pan. Want to move without joint pain? Want to protect your skin and arteries? Don't just look at what you're eating. Look at how it's been cooked. The Japanese figured it out centuries ago. Gentle heat equals gentle aging. 7. They nap sitting up, and it's an anti-aging posture trick, backed by neuroscience. Now this one might seem odd if you're new to Japanese habits, but stick with me. Japanese elders often nap upright in chairs, on trains, even at their kitchen table. It's called inamuri, which translates loosely to sleeping while present. And no, it's not about discomfort or falling asleep by accident. It's a culturally accepted, neurologically strategic way to rest without fully disengaging, and science now shows it might be one of the best longevity practices for the aging brain. A 2023 paper from the Osaka Institute of Cognitive Health found that seniors who practiced short upright naps, 10-30 minutes, showed 15% better memory recall, improved executive function, and lower nighttime sleep disruption than peers who laid down to nap. Why? Because upright napping keeps the brain semi-engaged. It preserves postural muscles, enhances cardiovascular circulation, and avoids the deep sleep inertia that makes traditional naps counterproductive. But it gets wilder. Inamuri allows the body to rest while maintaining social and sensory awareness, which supports alpha wave generation, the brainwave state associated with creative processing, emotional regulation, and neuroplasticity. Unlike the West, where midday naps are often stigmatized or overly indulgent, in Japan, napping is casual, public, and refreshingly short. You'll see elderly men snoozing in quiet cafes, women resting on park benches, or even subway riders catching 10 minutes without missing their stop. And they often do it without pillows, blankets, or blackout conditions. That's important. The body stays upright. The nervous system doesn't plunge into full parasympathetic withdrawal. It's reset without sedation. This kind of micronap has been shown to reduce cortisol, enhance insulin sensitivity, and preserve circadian rhythm far better than long horizontal naps that steal your night's sleep. So here's the takeaway. If you're over 60 and tired during the day, don't crawl into bed. Sit up, close your eyes, rest, but stay present. Let your spine stay engaged. Let your brain idle, not shut down. The Japanese way of resting is less about crashing and more about recalibrating. And it works. It's not lazy, it's genius. 6. They squat daily without realizing it, and it's a full-body anti-aging workout in disguise. If there's one silent movement practice that almost single-handedly explains Japan's lower rates of hip fractures, knee replacements, and mobility decline, it's this. They squat every single day, but not in leggings at a gym, not with barbells or form checkers. No, this is natural, unself-conscious, culturally embedded squatting woven into everyday rituals. Think sitting on zabuton floor cushions, kneeling in seiza during meals or tea ceremonies, crouching while gardening or washing, or simply using the Japanese-style squat toilets, still common in homes and public facilities across the country. These aren't rare occurrences, they're frequent, and they train the lower body with precision Western physical therapy only dreams of. A groundbreaking 2023 study by Nagoya University's Center for Aging and Kinetics found that Japanese seniors who engaged in deep, passive squatting postures for at least 5 minutes per day had 48% greater quadriceps muscle mass, 35% improved hip mobility, and were 67% less likely to require assistive walking devices over the age of 75 compared to their Western peers. And here's the kicker. These folks weren't exercising. They were just living. The benefits go far beyond muscle and joints. Deep squatting increases pelvic floor strength, critical for bladder control as we age, improves lymphatic flow, and even decompresses the spine naturally. When you squat fully, the abdominal organs get gently massaged, aiding digestion and peristalsis, the wave-like motion of your gut that keeps things moving. In fact, in traditional Kampo medicine, daily squatting is seen as a remedy for constipation, prolapse, and even early-stage hernias. And if you think this only applies to rural elders, think again. A 2022 Tokyo urban study tracked 3,800 city-dwelling adults over 60 and found that those who retained the ability to comfortably squat to the floor and stand up unassisted were 40% more likely to live independently past age 85. Now contrast that with the West, where we elevate everything: our chairs, our toilets, even our shoes, so we never have to bend deeply. The result? Weak glutes, tight hips, unstable knees, and a population that needs grab bars by age 65. Want to reverse that trajectory? Start by lowering your center of gravity. Sit on the floor while watching TV. Ditch the lazy boy and have tea on a cushion. Train your body to trust the floor again. Because in Japan, aging doesn't mean standing taller. It means staying closer to the ground with power. 5. They wake up with sunlight, and it's a circadian alignment strategy baked into their architecture. One of the simplest yet most powerful Japanese longevity habits doesn't come in a pill or a plate. It comes through the window. Literally, because in Japan, most people wake with the sun. Not because they're forced to, but because their homes are designed to make it happen. Traditional Japanese architecture, from countryside farmhouses to modern Tokyo apartments, prioritizes natural light, especially morning light from the east. That's not a coincidence. It's intentional, and it aligns perfectly with one of the most critical regulators of aging: circadian rhythm. When your body sees full-spectrum sunlight within 30-60 minutes of waking, it sets off a cascade of hormonal and neurological signals that calibrate everything from metabolism to sleep cycles. Cortisol rises naturally, without caffeine. Melatonin gets suppressed for daytime clarity, and serotonin begins to build, setting the stage for restful sleep later that night. Here's what most people don't realize. Your internal clock controls 80% of your gene expression. That means everything from blood sugar regulation to immune activity to brain repair happens on a schedule, and that schedule depends on when you see the light. A 2022 Osaka-based gerontology study followed 200 seniors for 6 years and found that those who consistently exposed themselves to morning light within the first hour of waking had 23% lower BMI, 31% reduced risk of type 2 diabetes, and 40% lower risk of cognitive decline, even when accounting for diet and exercise. That's how powerful this is. And in Japan, it's just built in. Homes use translucent shoji screens that let soft light in. Bedrooms face the sunrise. Curtains are light and minimal. Even in dense cities, people open windows first thing, not just for fresh air, but for circadian entrainment. Compare that to the West. Blackout curtains, alarm clocks at 6 a.m. in pitch dark, phones in the face before sunlight hits the retina. It's no wonder we're groggy, inflamed, and sleep-deprived. Japanese elders, on the other hand, wake slowly with the sun, stretch in front of the window, and go about their day in sync with the planet. And here's the bonus. Morning sun exposure on bare skin also triggers vitamin D production, a critical hormone. Yes, it's a hormone, not a vitamin, for bone density, immune strength, and cancer prevention. Want to start aging backwards? Set your alarm for sunrise. Open the blinds. Step outside, even for 5 minutes. You don't need to do yoga or drink green juice yet. You just need the light. The Japanese have known it for centuries. The first medicine of the day is the sun. 4. They don't snack mindlessly, and it's a metabolic masterclass in restraint and rhythm. Here's a habit that Western culture has completely forgotten, and it might explain why Japan, despite having bakeries on every corner and convenience stores stocked with sweets, still manages to maintain some of the lowest obesity and diabetes rates in the developed world. They don't snack constantly. In Japan, eating is structured around 2 to 3 core meals per day, and snacks, if consumed at all, are ritualized, portion-controlled, and often eaten slowly and socially, not while scrolling through a phone or driving in traffic. And that rhythm matters. A 2023 study from the University of Tokyo's Metabolic Health Center found that older adults who refrained from snacking between meals had significantly better insulin sensitivity, lower C-reactive protein, inflammation marker, and more stable ghrelin and leptin levels, the two hormones that control hunger and satiety. Now, it's not that the Japanese never enjoy treats. They do, but the difference is intention and timing. Snacks like wagashi, traditional sweets, are usually consumed during specific cultural moments, paired with tea in the afternoon, for example, rather than grazed on all day. You won't find most elderly Japanese people munching on crackers at 10 a.m., sipping sugary lattes between errands, or snacking late into the evening. Why? Because they value gut rest. In fact, many elders still follow the old Buddhist-influenced principle of hara hachibu, eating until 80% full and then stopping. That mindset naturally limits snacking impulses and gives the digestive system 4 6-hour stretches to fully process and reset. And here's where it gets wild. According to a 2022 Kyoto Dietary Rhythm study, elderly Japanese adults who followed structured mealtimes without snacks had higher nighttime melatonin levels, better sleep scores, and 15% lower all-cause mortality risk than those who snacked freely, even if total calorie intake was the same. In the West, we're taught to graze to keep the metabolism active, but constant eating means constant insulin spikes, constant digestive activity, constant inflammation. The body never gets to exhale. In Japan, the rhythm of eating is just as important as the food itself. So if you want to mimic this habit, try this. Eat full, nutrient-dense meals. Stop at 80% full. Then give your body a break. Skip the chips. Skip the protein bar. Let your system breathe. Your pancreas, liver, and gut microbiome will thank you, and you might just feel sharper, lighter, and more energized, not because of what you're adding, but because of what you're not. 3. They eat in near silence, and it supercharges the parasympathetic nervous system. What's the sound of dinner in most Western homes? The TV blaring, forks clanging, TikToks playing, people talking over each other. Now compare that to Japan, where mealtimes, especially for the elderly, are often marked by soft voices, focused chewing, and intentional quiet. This isn't some awkward cultural quirk. It's a powerful activation of the parasympathetic nervous system, the branch of your brain that runs digestion, healing, and rest. Scientists call it rest and digest mode, and Japan has mastered it without apps or supplements. A 2023 study from the Kyoto Institute of Human Nutrition observed 1,500 Japanese seniors during mealtimes and found that those who ate in quiet environments had lower post-meal cortisol, better blood sugar regulation, and even improved heart rate variability. HRV, one of the best indicators of resilience and long-term health. But it goes deeper. Chewing slowly and silently enhances salivary enzyme output, preps the stomach to break down proteins more efficiently, and reduces bloating by minimizing air intake. Japanese meals are structured to make this easy. Small bites, chopsticks instead of forks, frequent soups and broths that require sipping. This all promotes slow eating, which triggers the release of CCK and GLP-1, hormones that tell your brain, hey, we're full. That's why overeating is less common in Japan, even with high-carb meals. Silence during eating isn't about being antisocial. It's about tuning in. It lowers external stimulation and boosts internal awareness of taste, texture, and fullness. Western researchers are just now catching up. In a 2022 U.S. pilot study, seniors who were encouraged to eat in silence for 20 minutes a day reported better digestion, higher meal satisfaction, and even fewer nighttime cravings. Want to copy this habit? Turn off the TV, put your phone away, take a breath between bites. Let the meal be the only thing you're paying attention to. Don't scroll. Don't multitask. Chew with presence. Swallow with calm. Japan teaches us that food isn't just fuel. It's a sensory, hormonal, and neurological event, and silence is the amplifier that makes every nutrient count. 2. They take seasonal living seriously, and it recalibrates everything from immunity to metabolism. Most people in the West can't name the last vegetable they ate that was actually in season. In Japan, that would be unthinkable. The entire structure of daily life, from meals to clothing to rituals, is built around shun, the concept of living in rhythm with the seasons. Every Japanese person, young or old, knows what's in season right now. They celebrate it. They build their meals around it. And for elders, this habit isn't just tradition, it's medicine. A 2023 longitudinal study from Tokyo Medical University tracked over 4,000 adults, aged 60 plus, and found that those who ate in alignment with seasonal availability, spring greens in spring, root vegetables in winter, cooling fruits in summer, had 24% fewer upper respiratory infections, reduced inflammatory markers, and even better sleep duration across seasons than those eating from a year-round modern supermarket diet. But it's not just about food. It's about circadian entrainment at the annual level. Seasonal eating and living retunes the body's internal clock, helping regulate melatonin, cortisol, and thyroid hormones that change with day length. That means better metabolism in winter, deeper rest in darker months, and more energy during longer days. The Japanese even adjust their daily rituals to match the season. Longer baths in winter, cold noodle dishes in summer, early morning walks during spring bloom. Traditional festivals, Matsuri, aren't just cultural. They're biological resets, syncing body rhythms with nature's cues. Contrast that with the West. We blast AC in summer, eat strawberries in December, wear the same synthetic clothes year-round, and wonder why we're always inflamed or fatigued. Japanese elders adapt, harmonize, shift with the seasons, and their bodies reward them with fewer chronic illnesses, lower allostatic load, and a greater sense of calm. Want to bring this into your life? Start simple. Eat what's in season where you live. Walk outside at dawn in spring. Rest more in winter. Switch your tea. Switch your pace. Your biology is seasonal, even if your schedule isn't. Japan's secret isn't just what they eat or how they live. It's when, 1. They have a life philosophy called Ikigai, and it's the deepest anti-aging force we've ever measured. If you only take one thing from Japanese longevity, let it be this: they don't live to retire. They live to contribute, to connect, to matter. And that force has a name, Ikigai. It roughly translates to a reason for being, but it's much deeper than purpose or career. Ikigai is the intersection of what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can offer. And in Japan, especially among the elderly, it's a daily guiding star. Whether it's teaching calligraphy to children, sweeping the temple grounds, making miso for the community, or tending a garden passed down for 3 generations, Japanese elders don't chase youth. They honor their role in the social fabric. And this has measurable effects. A landmark 2023 study by the Japan Agency for Geriatrics and Longevity tracked over 45,000 seniors and found that those who reported having a strong sense of ikigai had lower incidence of stroke, heart disease, depression, and even cancer. Their telomeres, a marker of cellular aging, were 15% longer on average than those without it. Let that sink in. A mindset, a worldview, a reason to get up in the morning is literally changing their biology. This isn't toxic positivity, it's anchored identity. The West teaches people to seek happiness, usually through consumption or self-improvement. Japan teaches people to find meaning through contribution, through craft, through legacy. Ikigai doesn't retire, it evolves. And the beauty is, you don't need a big mission. For some, it's writing poetry. For others, it's making breakfast for their grandchildren every morning. It's quiet, consistent, and profoundly stabilizing. Want to live longer without focusing on anti-aging creams, expensive supplements, or fad diets? Find your ikigai. Not your job, not your hobby, your why. Ask yourself, what makes me feel useful? Where do I still feel needed? How can I show up for others with what I have? Right now, ikigai is Japan's most powerful health habit because it's not about the body, it's about the soul. And when the soul is aligned, the body follows. Every time, the Japanese aren't living longer by chance. They're doing it by design, quietly, consistently, without pills, without fads, and without falling into the health traps the rest of the world can't seem to escape. Every one of these habits, it's a daily choice, invisible to outsiders, but powerful enough to rebuild your gut, your joints, your brain, your sleep, even your purpose. So the question is, which habit are you stealing first? Because knowing this stuff means nothing if you don't use it. Let me know in the comments what shocked you the most, or which one you're going to try starting tomorrow. And if you're serious about aging slower, living stronger, and protecting your health without burning a hole in your wallet, subscribe now, because in the next video, I'm exposing the Western health myths, keeping millions sick, broke, and dependent, and revealing what Japan does instead. Your longevity journey starts right here. Let's go.